I digress. Peace to the nation. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well this morning. I was actually this is actually it came across this information. I seen the report, the news report. We would think it was yesterday, but I was thinking about it, and I'd been thinking, and one should think at least 3 times a day, deeply, preferentially. And I was thinking, about how even before this, I found out this news. When I found out the video where they had the young man, the black man, he was held in greater confinement and in custody, and the guards, for lack of better terms, beat him into his demise. Um, then I thought again even further to how the sister she was violently terminated. You got to be careful with the words on YouTube. She was violently terminated by um, officers of the law while she was pleading in the name of Jesus, in the blood of Jesus. And the commonality of these things is that for some reason, I mean, I guess it's not really no surprise reason why, um, hmm, you see these things. Well, not necessarily in the case of this good mother, but you're able to see, not if you even if you don't see the gruesome action, but you see the aftermath. You see the will be perceived to be trauma. The worst type of trauma. The trauma that's burdened with despair. Um, but the thing about what had started got me to the point was just like, and it's not necessarily anything new. It happened with uh uh what's your guy's name in the 8 minutes. Um, I can't think of his name, and that's a shame because I really don't want to really always say his name, but I can't think of your guy's name, but one of the many people. But what stopped me from even trying to look at these things, and you had a Trayvon Martin. They had an image of him laid out in the grass. That was some of the first, in the modern times, the trauma. Where you could see where it was like you just looking at it. Now, of course, you had your Rodney King, where they was beating him to death, and but seeming like in a particular era. And I want to I'll benchmark it I'll benchmark it at Trayvon, because then you got Mike, from Ferguson, uh Big Mike from Ferguson. They said, well, he deserved to get shot down because he stole Swisher Sweets. He snatched Swisher Sweets out the stove. He reached for the cop gun. Uh, and then uh, 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 I know Terrence Crutcher. He had his hands up, don't and then the female police officer shot him. And I don't need to go too far. I want to make sure I get to the story, the Crutcher story. What I'm trying to say, is a preface to what I'm finna talk about, is the fact that it seems to the point, from my interpretation and my analyzation, um, for some time now, and I guess you could say it's all part of some people might say I'm being conspiratory, or playing the victim mode, but it seemed like it's been all in the programming for the whole time. The programming to where the socially programmed inferiority. I think that's the way I had when I was thinking. I said, what could you call something like this? Socially engineered inferiority, where it comes at you through your media. You don't see anybody else seemingly go through this type of maltreatment. It's like, um, mistreatment of your particular kind, of your particular ethnicity or culture or racial designation. Um, it seems as if the default setting, uh, when you're presented seemingly, maybe you might be presented in accolades for sports and entertainment and, token positions of political power. But even with that, all maybe other groups do that the same. They're shown in positive lights, and of course even negative lights. But you don't even necessarily. What I guess I could say is that, and I may be wrong. Maybe I'm just not looking for it. But of course, I'm not looking to see other black people being violently killed and murdered either. So other black people being violently killed and murdered either. So when they say that when I see an inkling, okay, this normally I guess people don't believe in putting trigger warning on stuff. But when I see how something's about to go, cause when the fella that just when they showed the video where he got beat to death in prison in custody, all I had to see was that one cop hopping up and kicking. It was like maybe like 2 or 3 seconds. Oh, I know where this is gonna go. I need them to just read what happened. Oh, did he live or did he die? Oh, he died. Oh, they beat him to death. I don't need to watch all of it. It's like smut film to me. But then it's like it's still a program in the mindset. It's in the cult. It's in because we all like to seem like we can separate culture and that in our cultures are so intertwined. Part of American culture is it's in, embedded into American culture that certain things are permissible to certain groups of people. So it's all right if you can show the execution or the violent, seemingly unjust uh, termination of one particular group. But if you look at the person that seems to be on the opposite end of the social, economic, academic, judicial end of the totem pole. And this ain't nothing. I'm not, you know, I love my master. My master treat me mighty fine at my plantation. And I as a free man in America. But I'm talking about this particular thing. I ain't throwing those stones at you, Mr. Master Charlie. Uh I'm just trying to figure out why is it that it's seemingly you have these images and they're at one time they seem to be absolutely consistent. That's why I said after Philando Castile and that little girl was in the car and the police officer still shot the man while the little girl and the woman was in the car. That's all I need to see, man. I don't need to see no more. George Floyd, that's what I was thinking of. George Floyd. George Floyd. I didn't watch that George Floyd shit. No, I heard I saw what I saw was it when he was in the back of the car and he supposedly allegedly you know uh tried to whatever. But then I saw him when they said when the cop had his knee on him and he had his hand in his pocket. I didn't need to watch the whole thing. I just needed to hear well what happened at the end of the day. I don't I don't you can't play uh hmm I don't know. I don't know. But I guess it ties into what it is because it's socially engineered inferiority. It's not just you. It doesn't work. The engineering doesn't work if it's just affecting you. It has to be effectual on everybody. Not only do you have to see yourself as inferior, those who are not like you and around, even those who are immediately adjacent in economic and social status, they still have to view you by default as inferior. No matter what we all alike, yes, man. Okay, buddy. That sounds real. I appreciate your hospitality, and of course, we still have to work with them people. That's why I said I, I love my benefactor. I appreciate my benefactor. I have nothing harsh to say. Once upon a time, I might have been, and I guess in my mind, even leading to this point as I talk about this, I still am for my people. But I need to see a little bit more from my people to be for they people. Certain shit you ain't got to do. It's like a program in a way. Something have they expose us as a population to certain shit, images of shit, and it's convenient that the New Year, the president's about to switch over, all kind of other shit going on. It's convenient. They say the lady that was on that train that got burned by the immigrant was allegedly. So it's stuff like that, and that's trauma. That's traumatic. You watch that shit, and you put it. That woman ain't your auntie, your great auntie, but on that train being set on fire. But you might see a picture of her. Maybe I don't know if they showing any pictures of her or not, but you may see a picture of her, and you might akin her to a relative of yours, and it touches you on a certain type of place. What are you going to do with this? We go out and march, put a few hashtags on the post, man. It's the default setting, people. But with that being said, I done got a little bit too long winded with it. But I'm gonna read it, and then I'll try to play the video. Well, I shouldn't try to play. I'll play the video with it. A woman's son was trapped in the garage when it caught fire on Christmas Day. She says, despite pleas to first responders to help find him, she had to make the tragic and gruesome discovery herself. Now she's demanding answers. Wesley Freeman's mom wants to know why she was the one to discover her son's body a full 4 days later. I had to beg them to come back and help me look for my son, said Michelle Murray. They will not come back out here to do nothing. And she looked for him every day. She looked for him in every hospital, the morgue and everything, said Keith Kernell, Freeman's uncle. It's been a roller coaster of emotions for Michelle Murray since Christmas morning when a fire broke out at around 3 a.m. At the 9400 block of South LaSalle Street. Her 34-year-old son. Part about punctuation. It had been a roller coaster of emotions for Michelle Murray since Christmas morning when the fire broke out around 3 a.m. in the 9400 block of South LaSalle Street. Her 34-year-old son, Wesley Freeman, had been staying there, but she said police and the fire department assured her that they had checked the garage and he was not there. Thinking he had made it out alive, Murray started calling relatives and hospitals, even filing a missing persons report with Chicago police. I'm feeling good each time I call the fire department and the police department because they constantly telling me that it was no one there, that they checked and no one's there, Murray said. When there's still no sign of Freeman on Sunday. Now my one was Christmas. What day was Christmas on? I think Christmas was Christmas Wednesday, third. And this woman ain't heard from her son. She looking for got the hope her hopes up. Now it's a Sunday. She came back to the scene herself on a Sunday. I walked around the edge and he was over in there where the spring is, she said. And that's when she found his body in plain sight. And that's when she found his body in plain sight. Now, mind you, these people, she been calling and they said they can't find him, and she got her hopes up, and it's been days, and she been checked hospitals, morgues, whatever. Social infit. There has to be a certain level of disregard and malcontent in order to just to let it play out like it played out here. On a Sunday, this woman decided to go down there and check for herself on a Sunday. For some reason, I don't think that might be the same case for Miss Rebecca or uh, Mrs. Wong, or hmm, even to a larger degree, Mrs. Hernandez. But for Miss Murray, it hurts. It hurts a lot. He was there all them days, and I'm running around calling all these different places, and he's right here the whole time, she said tearfully. Police said the death is currently under investigation, that they can't comment any further on this case. Larry Langford with the Chicago Fire Department responded by saying he felt it was unlikely that the body could have been seen from the alley, and the fire crew responsible for the search effort returned for a detailed search and had to move debris to locate the body. CFD is saddened by the fact the fire victim was not found at the fire while it was being put out, and an investigation is underway to get more details on how that transpired, Langford said. The fire department was asked if and when the garage was searched, but there was no response as of Monday afternoon. Because they have to radio this shit out. And you need to dispatch. These people got to be dispatched. And there should be a dispatch record of when the people set out to go and look for them. I can hardly take it. I'm so sorry, said Shady Hubbard, grandfather. The family says they need their questions answered. There's grown people, babies, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunties. Make sure there's no one in it left behind, Murray said. Chicago police detectives and the Department of Buildings were at the scene on Monday. An official cause of death is pending from the Cook County Medical Examiner's office. Hold on. Look at your headlines here on CBS News Chicago. And first, we start with our weather here. Thanks, Serena. We do have a little snow out there. But can you imagine that, man? Can you imagine? Okay, you waiting, and the people telling you, oh, we can't find him. We don't see him. They're nowhere. But all the time, he's there. Give me a moment. I see that there's no one in my. Okay. I guess YouTube is getting tired of me. I looked at the thing in the studio, and it says this time is usually purple, dark purple. So this would be a time with people that be associated with. Never mind. Never mind. It is what it is. But can y'all imagine that? Okay, here we go. Was trapped in a garage when it caught fire on Christmas Day. She says that despite many pleas to first responders to help him find him, she had to make the tragic and gruesome discovery herself. Our investigator Megan Hickey spent the day in Roseland listening to what she's gone through and hearing her demands for answers. Here's what's left of the garage that was destroyed by a fire on Christmas Day. Wesley Freeman's mom wants to know why she was the one who discovered her son's body a full 4 days later. And I had to beg them to come back to help me look for my son. They would not come back out here to do nothing, and she looking for him in every hospital, the morgue, and everything. It's been a roller coaster of emotions for Michelle Murray since Christmas morning when this fire broke out around 3 a.m. in the 9400 block of South LaSalle. Her 34-year-old son, Wesley Freeman, had been staying there, but she says police and the fire department assured her that they had checked the garage and he was not there. Thinking he'd made it out alive, Murray started calling relatives, hospitals, and even filing a missing persons report with CPD. I'm feeling good each time I call the fire department and the police department because they constantly telling me it was no one there, that they checked and no one's there. When there was still no sign of Freeman on Sunday, she came back here herself. Walked on the edge and he was over in there where that spring is. And that's when she found his body, she says, in plain sight. It hurts. It hurts a lot. They was there for all them days, and I'm running around calling all these different places, and he right here the whole time.
Chicago police tell us the death is currently under investigation and they can't comment any further on this case. We asked the Chicago Fire Department if and when the garage was searched, but so far we haven't gotten a response.
I can't understand. I'm so sorry.
The family tells me they need these questions answered.
Grown people, babies, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunties. Make sure there's no one in it left behind.
Chicago police detectives and the Department of Buildings were on the scene here today. We're still waiting on an official cause of death from the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. Reporting in Roseland, Megan Hickey, CBS News Chicago investigators.
So that's what it was. So you look at it like this, man. Of course, these things you want. If you hear about people being mistreated, because this one was mistreated from my perspective. The in although his spirit is gone from this plane, her son was mistreated, if not outright disrespected. And these are things, and it's like I said, socially engineered inferiority. And of course, when you're a person that, but they look at it in some cases, and now maybe some people might take advantage of the victimization, but this despair is looked upon as playing as playing victimhood, playing victim. Meanwhile, there's not any attention being paid to what victimization this person that they're calling that they're accusing of um playing the victim. They don't know what, because it's just already a programmed sense of seeing that person as lesser than, you know, socially engineered inferiority. And you have decades and generations and centuries of it. May the ancestors and the great spirit cover that mother and her family. I said it's the New Year's, it's the first day of the new year, I guess officially New Year. And I said to myself, there's been a lot of talk. And just because I'm speaking about this particular thing, it doesn't necessarily be I can step outside and because in my mind, I'm not a marcher. I don't march and do all that protest and shit. But I'm saying, when I say this, I said in 2025, if it's just us niggas, I say African American, black, people of color, just we'll say everybody. Everybody should do more about being more constructive, doing things more constructive and more tangible. Making actionable changes. Well, was that is that a word? Actionable changes. That sounds like some politician shit. Making changes and being in action to complete things that might have sustaining and for 2025, ever since everybody making money on the internet, why can't we at least get you a patch of dirt and grow something on it. Uh get some chickens or some cow, serve some people, you know what I'm saying? Uh you'll be able to make some jobs out of it. I don't understand how hmm, I guess certain things, the feed prices might have went up or something like that. And I guess maybe it might be the laws because today in Chicago, the new year, we have 100 new laws, and in our democratic bastions of Chicago, we have 100 new laws, and a few of them have extra money attached to them. But I digress, man. I don't want to get off topic. I'm just gonna let my plan land here. Let my plane land here. Busy, busy baby. What's happening? Happy New Year, fam. Blessings to you and your family as well. Hey. Yeah, I was just about to tip on out on it. That's been on for a little while, and ain't no, you the first person that came through. At least the first person I've seen. I still don't see any change in the number up here, but it is what it is. I'm just saying. I was talking about how this woman, um, her she had, I guess she hadn't heard from her son since Christmas Day, and there was a fire where he lived at, and she had called the police, called the fire department, called hospital, called morgue. They, no, we ain't seen him. He not there. We can't find him. She got all hope up and all this shit like that. So then she got to go out, and she just so happened to walk over there and look. And then she looking all in the building. She said she see her son from over there. And then the police, then the fire department will say, "Oh, he wasn't that easily seen from the." If you want to play it back, just play it back. But I just had to speak on that, and I also tied it into the fact that it seems to be underneath the society. That um, although we're not being flagrantly lynched, or I guess just as, I guess within in the same manner, because you can lynch a motherfucker without taking their life. But racism is more embedded in the fabric of America. I was just speaking in regards to how part of it being embedded into the fabric of America, that they have to socially engineer inferiority into people that are considered African American, black, or nigger folks like myself. Um, if you have a, mm, I mean, you just have to look at the evidence. You look and see who's in power, who has all the money, who has all the positions in a pro-white society. In order for a pro, and I don't mean to go here like this, in a pro-white society, for it to flourish, there has to be a certain level of anti-blackness. I don't know if that's a yin and yang thing, because in some, it has to be some form, in some form, symbiotic, because hmm, and I need to do it. Our partner, Mr. Charleston, he had made a point about how everybody got a master. No matter whoever you pull up, we all got a master boss. So yeah, with that being said, man, it's tragic. It seems unreal. I couldn't see Mi- Miss Mary, or no, or not Miss Mary. Miss Mary's a bad one, because that's too well. I still say Miss Rebecca, aka Becky with the good hair. I couldn't see Mrs. Rebecca having to salvage through fire ruins to find her son that she been looking for since Christmas on Sunday. But the fire department is still doing an investigation. They said they looked, and you could see him. We could, basically what they said, they couldn't see him, but she saw him. Y'all didn't give a fuck. Y'all let that boy stay. That's all I had. Busy, busy, baby. I appreciate you popping up in this motherfucker. Nigga nation or nothing. Peace and love to you all. I'll holler at y'all at another time. Mm-mm.